Jen, I don't think that we were live at that point.
I can't find it. I'm looking on. Oh.
Okay, so it was working. All right, just wanted to make sure. I didn't see any action, any activity, so I didn't want to start without having that. All right, so now that we know that we're in, if you've been under a rock, this is what it takes. This is our weekly mini series where we ask the same exact questions to elite coaches, and they share with us what it takes to lead an elite team and have success in this business. Today, we have the honor and privilege of talking to one of my homegirls, good friend. She's 7-star diamond in her first business center, 1-star diamond in her second business center. She is the leader, the founder of a 2-time elite team, Shine United, Success Club 10 All-Star legend for 45 months, which is incredible. A coach for 4 years. Welcome to the call, Jen Guthrie. Jen, welcome.
Yay, thanks for having me, friend.
We are so excited to have you. So we're going to just jump right in. This should be about 15 minutes. Before we get started with our questions, do you mind just telling us a little bit about yourself?
All right, guys. So my name is Jen Guthrie. I am from Gulfport, Mississippi. I started this business when I was a full-time teacher, and then that was for the first 2.5 years. And I actually just wrapped up being a full-time grad student. I just got my master's degree in educational leadership. So now I am a full-time coach, and I've chosen to stay home this year with my baby that I'm expecting in December. We live in Mississippi. Not sure if I said that already. I may have. And I live with my 3 dogs and my husband, and I'm just really excited to be on here with you guys.
Love it. So how were you introduced to Beachbody then? You were a teacher?
All right. So this is one of my favorite stories to tell. And if my coach is listening, she's gonna get a shout out here and laugh. So I was teaching full time, was not looking for a business opportunity, truly was not. But, you know, like everyone else, I would occasionally scroll social media. And I was at the time part of a worship band at a church. And so after we would wrap things up, this other girl would go up and do the announcements for the service. And that happened to be my upline coach, Val Bazo. And when she would hold the microphone, she had these like killer biceps. And I would sit in the audience and tell my husband, like, man, like I want my arms to look like that. So that led me to go home, creep on her Facebook page. And I stalked her for like 3 months, wishing I could be in the shape that she was in. And so that's actually how the whole train started. It led to a conversation. I decided to do it with her, become a coach. That's how it started. Crazy.
I love that. Flex those muscles. So I think that this is kind of cool that you're here and it's back to school. I'm assuming that we have a lot of teachers who are coaches. So once you signed up as a teacher full time, can you describe what some of those early days looked like?
Yeah. So when I first started, guys, I didn't know it was going to turn into what it turned into. I just was having a good time. I just wanted to get in shape, maybe make a little extra money. But, you know, I did have this vision of what I was going to work hard at. And so I committed to about an hour a day to my business on top of teaching full time. And I said, okay, so for 1 hour a day, I'm going to do the activities I need to do to move my business forward. So what that looked like for me, and, you know, just to be honest with what it takes, it was super disciplined. I would get up at 4:30, get my workout in, do my social media posts, and I would work my business for 30 minutes before I had to leave for school for the day. Because if you guys do work a full-time job, you know that it's you can't have your Beachbody business out while you're teaching children. That's not fair to anyone. So I didn't believe in doing that. So when I was at school, Beachbody was off and I was present with my students at school. I felt like I was there. They deserved my attention. I was paid to be there. So when I got home, however, once 3:30 hit, back in the door, I spent another 30 minutes to an hour working my business, doing those vital activities that my coach told me in coach training I needed to be doing every day to build success. And then if there was a team call or something on a Monday night, I would make time for that as well. But it was just being very smart with my time and disciplined with those activities that I needed to do.
Discipline is so key. And I don't know how many times we've heard, getting up earlier and staying true to the basics as attributions to success. Well, what do you feel are some of your other habits or things that you can attribute to success?
So kind of what I was saying in my intro, I've never done this full time until like right now, literally last month. Always had my attention on something else or my attention divided. And it really does come down to time management. And that's something that's 100% individualized and based on you. That's something that each individual coach has to figure out. And I feel like between my time management and my consistency, that's been, those are the two habits that have brought the most success, because since day one, when I was like an awkward, never posted a selfie on social media, never worked out a day in my life coach, I never missed a day of those vital behaviors. I never missed a day of contributing at least an hour to my business. I never missed a day of my personal development. And that constantly showing up day after day after day is what gains trust with all of the people that are now my clients and my teammates. So I think that if I had to say the number one habit that's led me to success, it is that consistency in showing up daily and building that trust and gaining that outlook with people. And then also the other habit I would say is knowing it's 100% your responsibility. It wasn't Val's job to give me the discipline or the responsibilities that were going to turn into my success. It was 100% on me. And I had a very clear idea of that from right out of the gate. So just understanding what your goals are and what your responsibility is to your business in order to reach those goals.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I think the biggest takeaway is figuring out your own philosophy with time management. And showing up every day, but it was 30 minutes in the morning. It wasn't like you were spending these 8 hours a day in order to show up. Thank you. So what advice do you have for a brand new coach who doesn't know where to start? What can they start doing today in order to achieve long-term success?
So that's a loaded question. So I think my biggest piece of advice, if you're feeling like, okay, I became a coach, I don't know where to start, there's so much info, my coach training is overwhelming, there's all this stuff. Don't worry about it all yet. Just start. Just start something. Start posting on social media. Pick up a personal development book. Try sending some invites. Message your coach. Ask them for a tracker if you don't have a tracker. And if your coach hasn't given you a tracker, there's a million resources in the online office. So you can actually go and dig those out yourself. You don't actually need someone to point you in that direction. Start if you're struggling with what to say or what pictures to take, just do something. That's the biggest hang up I see with new coaches. They're paralyzed with taking action, but no one else is going to come by and push you off the cliff of action for you. You're going to have to be the one that takes that jump. So if you're sitting here feeling like information overload and you're paralyzed by it, I'm telling you right now, shake it off and start something right after we get done talking. Like just go for it.
So in the comments, regardless of when you're watching this, if you're watching this live or watching this playback, what are you going to start as soon as you're finished listening to this? Drop it below. Let us know. Jen, what about the coach who's struggling, who's thinking about giving up? What advice do you have for them?
So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, if you asked any coach in the network, whether they're a top 10 coach, top coach, whether they're elite, premier, I'm going to bet at some point in all of our businesses, the thought of giving up crossed our mind. Like everyone, it's just an ebb and flow of life. There's always going to be like a trial. It's never always just going to be smooth sailing butterflies. But I think you have to go back to your why. Like, why are you here? So a little bit about me, although I did not start this business to quit a job. I liked my job. I enjoy education, still do. I did have a why deep down, and I had this future vision of, well, one day I'm going to want to have kids and I'm going to want to have options for that. So to me, to provide those opportunities for my family meant showing up every day. So even on the tough days, even on the days where giving up may have crossed my mind, in the back of my mind, I had this why of opportunities for my family. And, now I'm living proof of that because I have a baby due in December, first time being pregnant. And now I have that option to stay home this year with him and maybe next year or the next year. But it's all about having that driving force. If you don't have a vision of what you're working towards or why you're doing it, then giving up's probably going to seem like the easier option. It's always easier to quit. It's always easier to quit. But I'm guessing if you're here, sorry, my hair's crazy. You have a deep down why. and a deep down vision. Maybe you haven't even admitted it out loud yet. Maybe you're fearful to admit it out loud, but I'm willing to bet you have something just like I did deep down, and you owe it to yourself to not walk away from that if you're showing up and doing what you need to do to achieve it.
Yes, laying down some nuggets there, Jen. I love it. So what's some of the best advice someone has given you regarding your business?
Oh man, there's so many great, phenomenal coaches who share their wisdom and advice literally daily in this business. But I think, a common thread and the best piece of advice I was given, especially starting out, was be yourself. I'll be the first to admit and raise my guilty hand that when I did start coaching, I did not do well with blinders on, and I would copy a lot of other coaches and try to be them and try to be like they were. And it came from a place of because I wanted to be like them, so that I admire them so much. But what I found was when you're just trying to be everyone else, like you're just going to stay, I guess the word would be mediocre. You're never going to really rise because you're not being true to who you are. And a lot of times, guys, it takes figuring out yourself, finding out who is Jen? What does Jen want to attract? Who does she want to share with? Figure that out about yourself, and then just be unapologetically you, because at the end of the day, you're going to find your clients, your dream teammates, your best friends by just being yourself. Don't try to copy and emulate other people, because people they can find someone else. If they wanted a cookie cutter, run of the mill person, they can find that, but they can't find another you. So that was the best advice I was ever given. And it's still something that I really strive to work towards every single day.
Every day. I think it's empowering, especially if anyone is kind of doing that, to know that it's okay to start there and it's okay to grow from it. So we have made it to our speed round. So this is our round where we're going to breeze right on through. Ready? First question. On average, how much time do you spend working your business every day?
Now probably between 3 to 5 hours a day. And I do want to note, when I was teaching full time, it was about 1.5 hours a day. Now it's my full time, so I do a little bit more.
Okay. What's your average Success Club each month?
It usually ranges from Success Club 30 to 40, I would say, is like my happy spot. I've gone all the way up to, 60, 70 before, but on average, 30 to 40.
30 to 40. Wow. That's a lot of people you're helping. What percentage of time do you focus on your own business versus your team?
My own business probably gets 80% of my attention. And I would say my team and their businesses get about 20% of my attention. Let it be noted that they also all know that I'm available anytime when they need guidance. But at the end of the day, if you're thinking, wow, that's a lot on your own business and not your team's, let me go back to saying, like, the business is your responsibility, not your upline coaches. However, they are there for guidance and support. That was a long answer. Sorry.
No, that was great. So how many coaches do you enroll each month?
The goal is always at least 10. So I would say my average this year has been working with 8 to 10 new coaches every single month.
And do you differentiate like business builders versus discount, or just coaches, period?
I do differentiate. I focus on 8 to 10 working coaches each month. But I do enroll discount coaches as well. And some people lump them all together. Just for the way I do my business, I try to keep it separate of who's working and who's just for the discount.
Got it. Awesome. We are at our last question, which has absolutely nothing to do with the business. So, no pressure. The question is, really, what time did you get up this morning? That's lame.
I'll totally answer too if you want, but I got up at like 6 this morning. I did not get up at 4:30 today, y'all. 6 months preggo. I was like, snooze. Not even gonna lie.
And it's funny because 6 a.m. is still getting up early for me. So Jen, thank you so much. Everyone, champions, thank you so much for watching this week's installment of What It Takes. Jen, you were awesome. Guys, if you found some value in this, please be sure to tag your team and share this video. All right, bye y'all.